narrating some verses to you of Madhushala. Madhushala means house of wine. It has been translated in English by Marjorie Bolton, who is Oxford University professor. And this was done in the mid-40s and early 50s. And it's called a house of wine. Wine is used as a symbol in this entire book. It is not alcoholic, as many would imagine it. It's wine and everything connected with wine has been used as symbols of life. And the philosophy of life has been conveyed through his poetry by using these wonderful symbols of the house of wine, the saki, which is the lady that pours the wine, the goblet that contains the wine. So here are some of the couplets. Madhushala. अपने युग में सबको अनुपम ज्ञात हुई अपनी हाला, अपने युग में सबको अद्भुत ज्ञात हुआ अपना प्याला, फिर भी वृद्धों से जब पूछा एक यही उत्तर पाया, अब न रहे वे पीने वाले, अब न रही वो मधुशाला. I don't know if there is a adequate translation. It is. All right. So I'll carry on to the next verse. मदिरालय जाने को घर से चलता है पीने वाला, किस पथ से जाऊं असमंजस में है वो भोला भाला, अलग अलग पथ बतलाते सब, अलग अलग पथ बतलाते सब, पर मैं ये बतलाता हूं कि राह पकड़ तू एक चला चल पा जाएगा मधुशाला. In life, mankind is very troubled at times when he steps out into the world. And many people advise him to reach your destination, take this path, do this, do that. And the poet says that these are very confusing expressions. What the poet advises is that Raah pakad tu ek chala chal, catch one path in life and carry on forward on it, and you will reach your Madhushala, which is the goal in life. धर्म ग्रंथ सब जला चुकी है जिसके अंतर की ज्वाला, मंदिर मस्जिद गर्जे सबको तोड़ चुका जो मत वाला, पंडित मोमिन पादरियों के फंदों को जो काट चुका, कर सकती है आज उसी का स्वागत मेरी मधुशाला. My daughter, when she was introducing my father, spoke to you about him being a rebel. My father was always very rebellious against anything that was imposed through generations, through certain wrong traditions which he felt. This is a reference to that. Dharma granth sab jala chuki hai jiske antar ki jala. All those that have burnt these divisive forces of sacred books and religion. Mandir, masjid, girje sabko tod chuka jo mat wala. Those who have broken the beliefs of the temples and the masjids and the churches. Pandit momin padariyon ke phandon ko jo kaat chuka. The pandits of the temples, the momin of the masjid, the priests of the churches, the one who has remained aloof and away from them. Kar sakti hai aaj usi ka swagat meri Madhushala. Those kind of people who have kept away from all this, Madhushala, this house of wine, welcomes such people. In our Indian, or those of you who know Indian festivals, we have a festival called Holi, and we have a festival called Diwali. Holi is the festival of color, where we throw a lot of color on each other to celebrate the time of harvest. It is a great moment of enjoyment and happiness. Diwali is celebrated during the time soon after Dashera, symbolic of the return of Ram from epic Ramayana after his 14 years of exile, and also to welcome Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, into the house. So it's a very celebrated moment. Diwali falls somewhere around October, November every year, and Holi is celebrated in March. So in Madhushala, my father says, "Ek baras mein ek baar hi jagti holi ki jwala." Once a year, at one time, you burn the fire of Holi. One day before Holi, we gather all the used up wood and the waste from houses, symbolically, and we gather it on the streets and we burn it. There is a Holika, and there is a story which goes into mythology of how Holika was an evil spirit which was damaging society, and how symbolically we burn that fire to burn that evil away. So, ek baras mein ek baar hi jagti holi ki jwala. So once a year only you burn this fire of Holika. Aur ek baar hi lagti bazi jalte deepon ki mala. And once a year we put up these little fairy lights to bring in Diwali, which is the festival of lights. दुनिया वालों किंतु किसी दिन आ मदिरालय में देखो कि दिन को होली रात दिवाली रोज मनाती मधुशाला. He says that, "Oh people of the world, come to my Madiralaya someday, and you will see that every day in the daytime we celebrate Holi, and at night we celebrate Diwali." मुसलमान और हिंदू हैं दो एक मगर उनका प्याला. The Muslim and the Hindu are two people, but their cup is the same, it's one. एक मगर उनका मदिरालय, एक मगर उनकी हाला. They have just one house of wine, and they have just one wine. दोनों रहते एक न जब तक मंदिर मस्जिद में जाते. They remain one until one goes to a temple and the other goes to a mosque. बैर बढ़ाते मंदिर मस्जिद मेल कराती मनुष्य. The mandir and the masjid, the temple and the mosque, they separate these communities. But my house of wine, it brings them all together. He talks about death now. Yam is the goddess, is the god of death. Yam. यम आएगा साकी बनकर साथ लिए काली हाला. The god of death will come, and he will bring with him black wine, because black is associated with death. पी न होश में फिर आएगा सुरा विसुख ये मतवाला. Drink this last cup of wine with great care, because it's not going to come to you again. ये अंतिम बेहोशी, अंतिम साकी, अंतिम प्याला है. This is the last time you will get intoxicated. This is the last time you will see this Saki, this woman who brings the wine for you. And this is the last cup that you will ever have in your life. Patik pyar se peena isko, phir na milegi Madhushala. Drink this cup of wine with great care, because after you have drunk it, you are not going to find the house of wine. In our religion, when people die, there are certain rituals which are committed. One of them is that on the lips of the corpse, of the dead person, we put the tulsi leaf. Tulsi is a very sacred plant. Basil, yeah. Which is a very sacred plant in our belief. And they put that leaf on the lip of the dead person. तो मेरे अधरों पर हो अंतिम वस्तु न तुलसी दल प्याला. When I die, don't put this regular basil leaf on my lip. Put a cup of wine there. मेरी जिह्वा पर हो अंतिम वस्तु न गंगा जल हाला. Ganga Jal, the water from the Ganges, is also considered very sacred in our belief, and we put a few drops of the river in the mouth. But he says that Meri jivva par ho antim vastuna Ganga Jal hala. Don't put these drops of sacred Ganga Jal water. Put this wine into my lips. Mere shav ke piche chalne walo yaad ise rakhna. मेरे शव के पीछे चलने वालों याद इसे रखना कि राम नाम है सत्य न कहना, कहना सच्ची मधुशाला. In our belief, when we carry the dead body to be burnt on the funeral pyre, the mourners, they chant, Ram Naam Satya, Ram Naam Satya. They say this. The name of Ram is purity. The name of Lord Ram, the God Ram, is purity. They chant this. But the poet says that, Mere shav ke piche chalne wale, those mourners who walk behind my corpse, yaad ise rakhna, remember this, Ram Naam hai Satya na कहना, कहना सच्ची Madhushala. Don't say Ram Naam Satya hai, say Madhushala Satya hai. मेरे शव पर वो रोए हो जिसके आंसू में हो हाला. Let those mourners who come along with my corpse and when they cry, let them not have tears in their eyes. May their tears be drops of wine. Ah bhare wo jo ho surbit madira pi kar matwala. And those that weep and grief and exclaim in grief, let them be those people that are intoxicated. Their breath is intoxicated by this madira, this wine. और दे मुझको वे कंधा जिनके पद मद डग मग. Those that carry my corpse should totter as though they have been intoxicated with wine. और जलूं उस ठौर जहां पर कभी रही हूं मधुशाला. And may I burn in that place where once upon a time there was a house of wine. और चिता पर जाए उंडेला पात्र न कृतिका पर प्याला. When the corpse is laid on the funeral pyre, traditionally we pour ghee, what do you call that?
Butter. Butter.
Huh?
Purified butter.
Clarified butter. Sounds a lot worse than ghee. So ghee is poured, which is because the cow is considered very sacred in our religion. And the milk from the cow, the ghee is made from that, and therefore it is considered to be very pure. Also, the fact that every time you pour ghee into fire, it helps the fire to burn even brighter. So traditionally, we pour this ghee on the dead body. और चिता पर जाए उंडेला पात्र न घृतिका पर प्याला. So don't pour this ghee on my dead body. Pour a cup of wine. घंट बंधे अंगूर लता में मध्य न जल हो पर हाला. The bells that are hung at the time of where the corpse is burning should not hang just traditionally through a rope. They should be hanging from the creeper of the grape that produces the wine. Madhya na jal ho par hala. Madhya na jal is the same. This Ganga jal that is poured, that should not be poured, it should be wine. प्राण प्रिय यदि श्राद्ध करो तुम मेरा तो ऐसे करना. प्राण प्रिय यदि श्राद्ध करो तुम मेरा तो ऐसे करना कि पीने वालों को बुलवा कर खुलवा देना मधुशाला. In our tradition of death, on the 13th day, it is traditionally, we call Brahmins and they are